My name is Ben. I'm a project manager at the Alabama Department of Transportation. As a project manager, one of your main duties is going to be manage, monitor, and inspect construction for the state of Alabama. You're working with a team of inspectors to manage with the contractor to take a set of plans and manage that throughout construction. Your main duty is going to be working with materials, design, contractors, different state municipalities, cities, counties. You're bringing all of that together to build a construction project. So when you're driving by the road and you see a contractor working, we're the guys that are working with them try to build that project to make sure that the contractor is building it as our designers, as our planners would draw it up. We're also in charge of estimates. We're making sure the contractors are getting paid for the work that they did. A typical day as a project manager is actually probably one of the best parts of it, is that it's not typical. Yeah, you're going to work when the contractor works. If it's nighttime work, you're going to work at night. If it's daytime work, you're going to work during the day. When they start, you start. When they stop, you stop. It can be stressful, but the typical day is not very typical. Your office, you don't go to the same office every day. Your office is constantly evolving with your projects. Now, you'll go to the office, you'll do your office work, you'll correspond, you'll send emails, but when you go to your projects, it can be fun because the project is constantly evolving. Your office is constantly changing, and you're constantly doing different things. With that typical day comes a level of stress. Stress is in the eye of the beholder. Some people can ask me, they can say, wow, Ben, you have a very stressful job. You're working all these crazy hours. But stress comes with experience. When you start off, you're going to be stressed out because you're going to make sure you need to do a great job. As you get more and more comfortable in the position, you get more and more comfortable making the correct decisions, working with your team of inspectors to ensure that these projects, these multi-million-dollar projects, are built the way we would expect them to be built. If you were going to consider a career as a project manager in the civil engineering field, I would recommend to get a civil engineering degree from a 4-year university. It's essential in getting into the engineering field and then moving upward from there. Your civil engineering degree is typically going to be what you would think it would be. It's going to be a lot of maths. It's going to be a lot of sciences. But it's not impossible. It's not a degree where the super smart people are only going to be in that field. It's a very practical field. I call it the working man's degree. It's time consuming. You're going to get a lot of labs. You're going to do a lot of homework. But the questions in the test and the curriculum is based on, it's very visual. You can understand it. So anyone can get this degree. You just have to work hard, and you have to really care about what you're doing and what you're learning. There's also, after you graduate with a civil engineering degree, there's a professional engineering license that you can attain. You have to work 4 years under a professional engineer, and then you have to sit for the professional engineering exam. This exam is, while it's not required for a project manager, it's essential if you want to pursue upward mobility in your company at AlDOT and in any other engineering firm. If you want to get into upper management, if you wanted to be the president of the company, you need to have that professional engineering license. So it's a part of pursuing an upward mobility, and project management is one step in that. One of the best things about being a project manager is seeing a project from its very beginning and all the way seeing it through till the end. It's like building Legos. You have a bunch of Legos, and then all the next thing you know, you have this structure. It's the same way with being a project manager. You start with a set of plans that's on paper, and it's tough to visualize this project. And you frustratingly work your way through, and then at the end of this project, you see this great project that you worked with your team of inspectors, with materials, with designers, with these state agencies. You have all these hands helping to build this project, and you were kind of orchestrating it. You were a small part of building this project. So it's very gratifying to be able to drive by your projects and say, hey, I had a small hand in building this project, or I was a part of building the tunnel. If someone worked on the tunnel, I mean, it's so fascinating to drive through my projects, and really say that you were a key ingredient in building those projects. But with the best, there's always a counter to that, the worst parts. And when you have so many people helping, so many different agencies, contractors, materials, part of your duty as the project manager is to make difficult decisions. And those difficult decisions, sometimes you have to tell people no. You have to tell someone, no, I cannot pay you for this, or no, we cannot have your idea. Everyone has their own agenda. Each agency, each contractor, they all want what they think is best for them. But it's your job to manage the project. It's your job to decide what is the best situation for that project. So sometimes it's difficult to tell people no. And do it respectfully. Sometimes they take it well. Sometimes they don't. And it's very difficult to be polite when someone is upset that they did not get their way. But you have to stay focused, and you have to understand your principles behind why you made that decision, and you have to stay positive and know that what you're doing is the right thing. So it's very frustrating. Sometimes it can beat you down when people are not happy with you or the decisions that you had to make. But that is a part of the job that conflict will always be involved in construction projects, and it's how you deal with that conflict determines how you move forward. Finally, my advice, if you're wanting to pursue a career as a project manager, is to understand that it's not always glorious. There are weekends that you have to work. There's nighttime jobs. There's daytime jobs. There's conflicts like we talked earlier. Be prepared for the tough stuff, but also understand that there is that gratifying, there is that glorious part of seeing your projects. You need to understand that while school is important, you need to make A's in your math classes. You need to make A's in your science classes. You need to do well in those classes. It's not essential. It's not the most important thing. I don't do math every day in my job. I don't do science every day in my job. But there is one thing that I do every day in my job, and that is communicate. I communicate via phone. I communicate emails. I communicate through conflict. I'm always communicating. So while you need to make those A's in those classes and you need to study, it's equally important to go out and be a leader. Join organizations. Get involved. Try to do public speaking events. Be active outside of school. You need to make A's in your classes and you need to do well in school, but you need to equally be as involved in organizations. Put yourself in positions where you have to make decisions in organizations so that way you're prepared for when you become in this position. You've made tough decisions before. You've dealt with conflict before. You know how to communicate with all types of people. That's the biggest thing a project manager can do. If he's a great communicator, he can really pick his team up, his team of inspectors, and they can really find the end goal at the end of the job. So while I would encourage you to do well in school, be equally involved outside of school, within your organization, within your church, within your school, and with whatever you do outside of school, be involved, be a leader, be a team player, because that's what makes a great project manager. That's how they decide who needs to be a project manager. So it's someone that can put things together and that can move a project forward, move an organization forward, and do it successfully. So I would encourage you to get involved.